More graphics cards news, and that is because, of course, the RX 6000 series and the RTX 30 series graphics card prices continue to improve, with several GPUs available now below MSRP. This is coming from WCCF Tech. The latest AMD Radeon RX 6000 and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 30 graphics card price report has been published by 3D Center, which shows continued improvement in GPU prices, and some cards are even showing prices below their MSRP. In the latest report by 3D Center, we can see that the GPU prices for both NVIDIA GeForce and AMD graphics cards continue to fall, which shouldn't be a surprise, as that's the trend we have witnessed since the end of 2021. The NVIDIA GeForce RTX 30 series prices now average around 6% over MSRP, while AMD's Radeon RX 6000 series averages with a selling price of 2% over MSRP. Keep in mind, of course, when we are talking about NVIDIA versus AMD here and their MSRPs, Radeon MSRPs are by and large, a majority of their cards are overpriced on the MSRP front, unless we get to the top end models that were released kind of in a weird niche before things got crazy with the shortages and the cryptocurrency mining market, etc. So the rest of the line, like 6700 XTs and below, are, from an MSRP perspective, overpriced at the MSRP level. So I want to make that clear. That makes this a little bit skewed, right? I would say that NVIDIA and AMD are a lot closer in price to performance at this point. All right. So in addition to that, GPU supply is abundant, and currently there's no retail outlet in the world that doesn't have graphics cards on their store shelves, which wasn't the case a few quarters back. The red and green teams have also announced various promos, such as the Restocked and Reloaded by NVIDIA, and AMD has also announced, or is announcing, how its Radeon RX 6000 series cards are available at MSRP level prices. I think they also are kind of shooting themselves in the foot with having new GPU line launches coming here soon. We're supposed to have new RX or RTX 4000 series by the end of the summer, it looks like, and it's looking like RX 7000 series by the end of year. And so gamers, by and large, are a lot more willing to sit back and wait for new lines of GPUs. And so you hit this weird point where you have a brand new GPU release during a bear market in cryptocurrency, and you flood the entire market with old used GPUs, and it gets into this pickle where, like, yeah, sure, we can go buy new GPUs, but as a gamer, why am I going to go buy an RX 6000 series when the 7000 series is around the corner? If I'm sitting on, I don't know, maybe like a 5700, maybe it doesn't matter that much to me. That's my perspective. That's my gamer coming out. You know, if I'm sitting on, you know, a pre super cycle GPU, a 2080 Ti, a 5700, even like a 2080 Super, 2070, if I'm sitting on something like that and I know the 4000 series is coming out and I see GPU prices declining and I want to really get the best bang for my buck and have like a top of the line rig again, I'm probably going to be sitting around and waiting for all these new parts. Not to mention, we have the new AMD CPUs coming out. We have DDR5 available. I'm looking at a fresh, brand new system, you know, get some fresh kicks on, start pushing those 240 frames a second so I can beat my friends at some Call of Duty Warzone or CSGO or whatever it is, right? Talking about AMD prices first, once again, almost all graphics cards with the Radeon RX 6000 series are now available between 1 and 10% of MSRP. It is only the Radeon RX 6800 series cards that are still selling for an average of 20 to 35% over MSRP. And that's because we've talked about the 6800 series, the 6800 XT, and its surprising performance in alternative algorithms. So I do think that those could be specifically, take note of which ones are staying up, right? I think it's really important. This has been the case with these cards since their launch, and one reason is that the 6800 non-XT has been discontinued silently, while the 6800 XT is still short in supply, with AMD focusing on higher-end 6950 XT and 6900 graphics cards. At the same time, the RX 6500 XT is available at a price that's 19% below MSRP because nobody wants the 6500 XT. It's not good for mining, it's not good for gaming, so expect that to drop even further. While the RX 6700 series can now be bought at MSRP, and that one's probably a little bit more enticing, at least from the mining side, definitely from the gaming side. The NVIDIA lineup averages around plus 6% prices over MSRP, but it's just 3 cards at the moment. The RTX 3050, which you really don't want because it's still a 90% unlock at best and unstable. The RTX 3060 Ti, which makes more sense. And the RTX 3070, which makes a lot of sense, which are priced plus 12% over MSRP. Interesting that the 3050 is over MSRP. The enthusiast RTX 3080 Ti can actually be found below MSRP, which is impressive given that it offers performance similar to the RTX 3090 Ti, which costs several $100s more. It's the RTX 3060 Ti that is still selling for over 20% MSRP, but that could be due to high demand. And of course, that high demand, once again, we are looking at really, and I don't have a 6800 XT. I have a non-XT. I think I need to get an XT. Head-to-head in mining performance of the 6800 XT versus the 3060 Ti would be extremely interesting in my humble opinion. We recently saw the AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT being sold at $100 below its MSRP over at Newegg US. There are just a few cards that are currently in demand and would take a few more months to hit their MSRP figures. But the vast majority of the GeForce RTX 30 and AMD Radeon RX 6000 lineup is currently being sold at normal prices. This, along with prices now coming back at or below the MSRP, means that the GPU market is out of the worst, and prices / availability can now be back to normal or go back to normal. However, at the same time, I am not as happy with the price update as I should be, simply because we are entering a new generation of graphics cards, as I mentioned earlier, later this year. And by this time, most of the existing graphics cards would have received discounts and price cuts, but that's not been the case this generation due to inflation of the GPU market. We can only hope that we never see such a scenario ever again, since it's the best for consumers around the globe. With that said, a major GPU price crash might be looming around the corner. More on that here. So they talk about it more here apparently. And let's go ahead and get into this one because I didn't know that they did an article. This was on May 28th. So let's see what they're talking about the price crash for. Obviously, like we've talked about here a few times, we're in a weird spot now from the cryptocurrency mining position, and a lot of people are putting the pause button on purchasing more GPUs. I kind of put out a tweet yesterday. I think it was yesterday, maybe day before yesterday. It's hard to keep track. Yesterday, I was on the river all day. Basically saying because everybody is not purchasing GPUs now, it makes me think that it's the time to purchase GPUs. The reasoning behind that is typically when everybody has the fears the highest within the markets, that's when you have the most opportunity, right? Does the fear go even higher? Do the prices of cryptocurrency go even lower? Does the ability to mine cryptocurrency on a GPU decrease even more? Yes, all that's very in the cards. The problem is if you end up in a position where all of a sudden we see price discovery start to shoot up for something like Ethereum Classic or another coin that is GPU mineable, who knows what it'll be, right? And then everybody starts jumping in, and you start jumping in when they jump in, then the prices come and inflate. If you take the chance while everything's low, once again, not financial advice, just how I am looking at it right now, but while they're low, then you have a better ability of being able to already be mining and being more profitable than the guy that's next to you. It just means that you have to take more risk, right? More risk, more reward. Obviously, the risk could completely break you, and that is a potential, right? But let's see what this is. Has NVIDIA rung the warning bells for upcoming GPU price crash? Chip designer NVIDIA Corporation has revealed that its graphics processing unit inventory stabilized during the previous quarter. The statements were made by NVIDIA's chief financial officer, Ms. Colette Kress, during NVIDIA's investor call for its earnings release for its first quarter of the fiscal year 2023. During which the company managed to strongly grow its revenues and increase its earnings from the crucial data center segment as well. As part of the commentary released prior to the call, the executive also explained that her company's inventory costs had grown in the quarter as it navigated a tricky supply chain and semiconductor environment in the wake of pandemic-induced disruptions. The first fiscal quarter saw NVIDIA increase its revenue by an impressive 46% annually to stand at $8.3 billion, which marked a new overall record alongside all-time highs for the company's gaming and data center segments. NVIDIA's results also provide key details about the current state of the semiconductor and GPU market, which has had to recently contend not only with dissatisfied gamers being unable to get their hands on the latest products, but also with the wild swings in the cryptocurrency market. These reveal that as far as gamers are concerned, the inventory situation can stabilize during the current quarter. While Ms. Kress comments as part of the earnings release did not specify, and let me get those alerts turned off. Sorry about that. So while Ms. Kress's comments as part of the earnings release did not specify mention channel inventory, she did share important details during her analyst session. There we go. Prior to the call, the earnings release outlined that NVIDIA had to deal with longer lead times in its supply chains. Lead time in the business world refers to the time taken for inventory to arrive at a company after it has placed an order. And the CFO explained that her company's long-term purchase obligations more than doubled annually as a result of the time increase. Supply uncertainty and shortage often cause companies to order higher quantities at higher rates. But these decisions carry the risk of an oversupply that results in excessive inventory. Keeping these facts in mind, Ms. Kress's comments during the analyst calls were telling as she explained that NVIDIA is witnessing stability in channel inventory. Channel inventory refers to the products that are available with NVIDIA's retail partners but have not been sold to consumers. During the call, the executive explained that channel inventory has nearly normalized and we expect it to remain around these levels in Q2. The extent in which cryptocurrency mining contributed to gaming demand is difficult for us to quantify with any reasonable degree of precision. Really? Okay. You could, really? Okay. I feel like you could. These statements build upon her earlier comments and several reports that consistently surfaced throughout the course of this year. This is going to bug me. Look, the reason they don't want it to be, they don't want to admit essentially the amount that cryptocurrency mining has affected their industry is because it hurts their investor relations. That it hurts, of course, the stock price. Because if people are aware of how much it actually impacted it, then they would get a little bit of fear surrounding the NVIDIA's future, right? Let's just be honest about it. For instance, Ms. Kress outlined in January that she expects supply shortages to ease out of the second half of this year. At the same time, she was also careful to mention that the demand for her GeForce products remains strong, a factor that will become important as you read below. Another report from Australia that came to light in March revealed that some NVIDIA GPUs saw their prices drop as much as 35%, indicating that retailers were eager to sell them, potentially due to an oversupply. When taken together, it just might turn out to be that in its eagerness to meet market demands and minimize shortage costs, NVIDIA has ordered excess GPUs and sent them to its channel partners. Combined with the fact that the company's next generation 40 series GPUs might hit the market later this year, the risk of an oversupply in the market that results in excess inventory is present. Additionally, if high demand for its products experienced over the past couple of months resulted in NVIDIA increasing its shipments, then the risk of the excess products remaining unsold might also materialize. Unable to get their hands on GPUs, the company's potential customers can have switched to alternatives or decided to wait for newer products. But since the inventory has been updated to reflect the increased demand, the drop in interest is another factor that can contribute to an oversupply. This is compounded by the fact that newer products, such as those mentioned above, have been rumored to launch earlier this year or the next. So basically just reaffirming everything we talked about when we were discussing the price of GPU prices coming down, the perspective of gamers waiting for, of course, the new line of GPUs that have been announced, the oversupply coming into the market due to, of course, the crashes in the cryptocurrency market and the impending doom to GPU miners of the Ethereum merge. All of these things are going to compound into basically this happening. So timing the market perfect for investing in hardware from the cryptocurrency mining perspective is going to be extremely important. It's going to be hard to time it though, because like I said, if we start to see something odd happen within the market where it shoots back up, or we see some other coin start to take the lead over Ethereum, as Ethereum moves to proof of stake, if you buy in too late, you're too late. If you buy in too early, well, you lost a little bit of money and that sort of thing. The thing is if we wait for the supply to get so high that all of these old GPUs are just flooding the market, there is potential to basically build up massive farms in preparation, of course, for the next cycle that presumably, if following previous patterns, would happen at the end of 2024, around December, for the halving of Bitcoin. We also have reports, of course, of inflation basically being relieved in the 2024 timeline, or starting to basically correct itself. And then, of course, as always, the US presidential election will affect the economy to a certain extent as well, which will be happening around that same time. So we have all of this shift happening. What we're in now between the 2022 and the 2024 to 2025 period will make or break pretty much any cryptocurrency miner in the market. So your goal, our goal, my goal, I should say, and not financial advice, is to accumulate silicon. We hodl silicon, we don't hodl crypto. And then try to prepare ourselves for the best as possible to hopefully capitalize on the next super cycle. Will GPUs be completely phased out? Some people say so. I am a little bit on the fence as far as that goes. I think the GPU mining will always be around to some extent, at least to build up and properly distribute new cryptocurrency for new cryptocurrency projects. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.